Hi, I'm Angela, a 30-year-old. When I first met my mother-in-law, Mary, she told me, "You will never be as important as me to him. He will always choose me over you. Don't expect anything else from him." Yes, this happened during our very first meeting. Needless to say, I was extremely embarrassed by her behavior. Throughout our encounter, she kept insulting me and calling me worthless. She said, "I don't know how my son could choose a girl like you. Then again, no one deserves my baby. He's mine alone. Cole is the best kid ever, and he loves his mom. You're just a temporary person in his life. I know he is your favorite son, Mary. I also know that he loves you a lot. You are his mother, after all. Yes, and I don't think you can replace me. My boy will always choose me. I'm not trying to replace you, Mary. I'm just trying to be his partner and a good girlfriend. You don't have to see me as competition. I want us to have a positive relationship. Well, you can never be my competition. Besides, you are only here for a while, so don't get carried away. He will dump you sooner rather than later." Mary's unabashed rudeness shocked me. You see, my boyfriend Nicole is actually nothing like her. He is incredibly kind and very caring. It's as if Nicole and Mary have completely different personalities. Needless to say, the whole interaction hurt me deeply. I would never ask Nicole to choose me over his mom. I lost my parents when I was young, so I know how important parents are in our lives. Nicole has always been a loving partner to me. I also knew that he held his mother in high regard. His father, Billy, divorced Mary when they were kids, and Nicole never knew the reason for the divorce. However, he did hold some resentment towards Billy. They have a relationship, but Nicole prefers his mother over everyone else. He believes his mother sacrificed a lot to raise him. I, too, held Mary in high regard based on the stories. He once said, "All my ex-girlfriends hated my mom. I have no idea why. She's a little dependent on me, but that's because she never married again. You know, she spends a lot of time taking care of us. Mom never had the time to date, so she expects a lot of emotional support from her kids." She sounds like a great person, Nicole, especially since you speak so highly of her. She also raised such a fine man like you, so I already hold her in high regard. See, at least you understand that. I don't know why no one else could tolerate her. We have to be a little compassionate, you know. I can't just leave her like Dad did. Nicole, I'm sure your parents had their reasons, but you're right. You can't just abandon your mom for anyone. It turns out I would end up being one of those girls in the future. I would hate his mother and make things difficult for him. His siblings, Dean and Tamara, did try to warn me when I met them at my house. They were very nice to me after the disastrous meeting with Mary. Knowing Dean and Tamara was refreshing. I was pretty confused about how Nicole and his siblings turned out so nice with Mary as their mom. Dean and Tamara made things a little clearer for me. They said, "Angela, we know you've met our mother. You don't have to pretend to like her. We don't idolize her as much as Nicole does. He can be a bit too trusting when it comes to Mom. Yeah, Mom raised us, but she wasn't exactly a stellar parent, although Nicole might see it differently. I think Mary didn't like me very much. I tried my best to reassure her, but she seemed set in her judgment of me. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I just hope she didn't say anything too hurtful." Dean said, "Look, I don't know if Nicole mentioned this to you, but she's always been like this with his girlfriends. I actually have a lot of stories to tell." "Yeah, she had a habit of driving them away. Mom just can't handle it when Nicole or we give attention to someone other than her. She thinks that because she chose not to date, she's entitled to our time and attention. Angela, we really like you, so take this as a warning. Nicole can be oblivious when it comes to Mom. He tends to take her side most of the time. We know it's cost him many relationships. Don't let Mom win this time. You're perfect for him." Tamara reassured me. "I don't know, guys, it just feels really strange to compete with his mother. Since I don't have my parents anymore, I do feel for Mary. I don't want to come between Nicole and her. Trust me, Angela, he does need some distance from her, or he'll never find true happiness. Dean and Tamara offered some valuable insights into what my relationship with Nicole might become. Nicole indeed spends a significant amount of time with his mother. He's even canceled dates to be with her. Mary also calls him over for every minor inconvenience. She hasn't worked and still receives alimony from Billy. I met Billy long after meeting Mary and the siblings. Billy seemed more like Nicole and the siblings. It was clear why he had to divorce Mary. I never had a problem with Nicole canceling dates for Mary. I would make exceptions when she genuinely had an emergency. However, his constant prioritizing of Mary wore me down. Dean and Tamara's words kept echoing in my head. I knew it was time to sit down and have a conversation with him. Nicole, I appreciate how much you care for your mother, but lately, you've been neglecting me a lot. This month, you've canceled all our dates just to be with her. It's starting to bother me. You know, Mom relies on me a lot. Dean and Tamara don't bother to visit anymore, so I'm the only one who has to help. I can understand if she needs your help or if there's an emergency, but you canceled our dates for no reason. You don't have to rush to her when she's just bored. She is my mom and doesn't have anyone else. Do you expect me to drop her when I'm with you? He asked. I'm not saying that, Nicole. I just want you to start considering which visits are truly important and which aren't. No matter how much I tried to make him understand, Nicole never agreed with my reasoning. However, he did promise to make it up to me. I was pretty annoyed but didn't complain because he was trying his best. Gradually, I started to understand why none of Nicole's exes liked Mary. She was unbearable. Every time I was with him, she would vie for his attention. When she realized I was more permanent than she had initially thought, she became increasingly demanding. Everything came to a head when Nicole proposed to me. I said yes, without hesitation, because I loved him deeply. He was everything I had dreamed of. Both Nicole and I were thrilled. We decided to invite his family over for dinner to announce our engagement. He happily called his family and invited them to join us. Billy was the first to arrive, bursting with excitement and offering his heartfelt congratulations. Dean and Tamara followed shortly after, equally thrilled about the upcoming wedding. However, when Mary entered and noticed the ring on my finger, she reacted strongly. Cole, am I seeing things? Did you propose to her? Yes, Mom. I asked her yesterday and she said yes. I invited everyone to dinner to announce our engagement. You have to be kidding me. What is wrong with you, Nicole? You're too young to settle down with whoever you find on the street. You didn't even consult me before asking her. Mom, what are you saying? You always knew I was going to propose to her. But I never permitted you. How dare you propose without asking me? And why did you spend so much money on the ring? This girl doesn't deserve anything so expensive. Angela, are you happy now that you've taken my boy away? She glared at me. Mary, what are you saying? You should be happy for us. We love each other, and you are my family too now. Mary, please calm down. It's natural for Nicole to settle down with Angela. She's a wonderful girlfriend, and we all knew the engagement was coming. Stop making a scene. This is ridiculous. Nicole doesn't need your permission to marry. He's old enough to make his own decisions, Billy said, getting annoyed. Mary wouldn't listen to anyone. She kept screaming and hurling insults at us. Some of the things she said about me were incredibly hurtful, but I won't repeat them here. Nicole was stunned throughout the whole ordeal and didn't say much. It was just Mary screaming while the rest of us tried to calm her down. After a while of screaming and crying, Mary left. The rest of us decided to sit down for dinner so the food wouldn't go to waste. Before everyone left, Tamara pulled me aside and said, Angela, I think it's time you set some boundaries with Mom. She called you horrible things in front of us. Nicole needs to learn to stand up for you. I know, Tamara. I've had enough. I tried so hard to make her like me, but I won't do that anymore. She disrespected me a lot today, and I won't put up with it anymore. I hope Nicole understands. Hold your ground. If he loves you and wants you, he'll listen. With that, the group left, leaving Nicole and me in our rented home after cleaning up everything. I signaled him to join me in the living room. It was time to establish some boundaries between us and Mary. I sat him down and said, "Mary has been awful to us today. I think we can agree on that. She overreacted a little. I guess I shouldn't have sprung this on her. If only I had discussed this with her. Nicole, you're a grown man and don't have to discuss these things with your mom. Why are you still defending her? Didn't you hear what she said about me? Are you okay with that?" "Of course not, Angela. I'm not okay with that, but it's just that she's never behaved this way before." "Oh, trust me, Nicole. She has done this before. Every time you were away, Mary used to berate me and call me names. She's obsessed with you. Can't you see that?" "What are you saying, Angela? My mom has been talking about you all this time. Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "That's because you always defend her. Look, I know she's your mom and you want her in your life, but I'm going to limit my contact with her. You need to reconsider your actions and stop always giving in to her demands." We discussed the issues with Mary, and Nicole agreed to set boundaries. I was relieved that he was finally starting to recognize Mary's toxic behavior. However, he still held her dear and refused to criticize her for anything. Thankfully, he went to talk to Mary and told her to stay away from me. The wedding planning was equally exhausting, with Mary causing trouble. She even went so far as to change the decorations and try to cancel the venue. Luckily, my MOH had the foresight to set up passwords so only Nicole and I could make changes. When we found out about Mary's meddling, I was furious. However, Nicole tried to downplay it and promised to handle Mary on his own. Things were tense between us. Mary completely lost it when she found out we bought a house together. My husband and I found our dream house, and Billy offered to help with the down payment. We bought it immediately and put both our names on it. Mary didn't approve of this at all. She called Nicole and criticized him for ignoring her wishes and buying a house with me. Mary wanted Nicole to live with her once her lease was up and didn't want him to spend money on a house with me. The wedding itself was uneventful after Nicole had a stern talk with Mary. My bridesmaid and MOH also kept an eye on her to prevent her from causing any issues. However, things took a turn for the worse during our honeymoon. One night, we received a call from Mary. She said, "Cole, I've been in an accident. I'm at the hospital. The doctors are saying I'm paralyzed. I need you right now." "What? Where are you, Mom?" "Tell me the name of the hospital. We'll come back immediately. You should have called me sooner. I didn't want to spoil your honeymoon. I knew Angela wouldn't let you come back." "Don't worry. I'll be discharged tomorrow. But how will I manage on my own? I can't even move. There's no one to take care of me." "Don't worry, Mom. You can stay with us. I'll take care of you. I'm sure Angela is okay with this. I'll come get you when I return. Take care of yourself." Nicole quickly called his siblings and Billy as well. However, they were intrigued by the situation since they had yet to learn about Mary's accident. When they called her, she forbade them from visiting her in the hospital. Nicole was furious, feeling Mary was angry at everyone for not being there for her. He also regretted neglecting her the previous year. Consequently, he decided to end our honeymoon early. By the time we returned, Mary was already back home. She was in a wheelchair and started crying when she saw Nicole and me. He reassured her that he would never abandon her and keep her with us. He should have consulted me about this decision. Mary continued to give me strange looks and make snide comments about being unable to keep Nicole away from her. I remained silent because arguing seemed pointless when she was in distress. However, one thing was troubling me. Mary never showed us any medical documents or doctor's notes. She even refused to say which hospital she had been to. Nicole ignored these warning signs and simply told me to leave her alone. When we brought her to our house, Mary said, "Son, you seriously can't think about putting me in a guest room. It would be so uncomfortable. It would be better if I got the master bedroom. Your room is much bigger and has all my needs. I'm so sick right now. I need comfort." "Of course, Mom. If you think the master bedroom will be better for you, you can stay there. We won't mind. I just want you to be comfortable right now." "Thank you so much, Cole. I hope Angela isn't mad at me. You guys didn't even get to enjoy your new room first. I can stay in the guest room if she wants. Who cares if I'm uncomfortable? You can stay in the master bedroom, Mary. I never objected to it." Mary looked at me and smirked, clearly enjoying the attention Nicole was giving her. Nicole never consulted with me before giving in to his mother's demands. He kept blaming himself for not being there for her. Dean and Tamara were also uneasy about the situation. Everything seemed suspicious to us, but I didn't bring it up because I didn't want Nicole to misunderstand. After that, things took a turn for the worse. Mary monopolized Nicole's time. When he came home from work, she called him to her room and kept him there until dinner. Even at dinner, Mary insisted that he eat with her, leaving me to eat alone in the kitchen. It felt like Nicole had no time for me. Mary also gave me orders when I was at home. If I refused, she would call Nicole and cry to him. My husband and I often argued because he wanted more from me, but I was reaching my limit with him. My suspicions about Mary's health never faded, so I decided to keep an eye on her. One thing Mary didn't know was that we had cameras in the master bedroom, placed there to monitor things in case anything went missing. Neither Nicole nor I informed her about it. One day while I was at the office, I decided to review the recorded videos. To my surprise, Mary was walking perfectly fine, searching through all the drawers and cabinets in my room. I was shocked. Sure, I had my suspicions, but I didn't expect Mary to do something like this. After discovering the truth, I decided to wait before confronting her. Nicole and I were still arguing, and I didn't want to upset him further, so I bided my time, waiting for the right moment. About 4 months after Mary moved in, she told us we needed to talk. We went to her room and waited for her to speak. She said, "You guys know I've been going to the doctor with my friend. Today, the doctor said he can fix me, but it will cost a lot of money." "That's great news, Mom. I'm sure this treatment will help you get better." "Yes, but you know I don't have that much money, so I was wondering if you could help me out." "We'll be happy to help, Mary, but we don't have that much money lying around," I said. "Don't be selfish, Angela. You have this house. If you sell it now, the money will be enough for the treatment. You can just move in with me and stay there after that." "Mom, it's a big decision to make. We want you to get better, but I can't believe you'd think we'd kick you out. Just give us some time to figure something out." "No, just sell this damn house. You don't need such a big house anyway. Angela doesn't get to live in luxury while I rot away in a small place. Sell the house and give me the money." "Mom, please calm down. We will find a solution. Just let me think about it." Nicole tried to reassure her. Mary continued accusing Nicole of not loving her, and her intensity brought him to tears. He was almost ready to sell the house for her. That's when I decided enough was enough. I said, "Stop it, Mary. Why are you pressuring him like this? I know you're not sick at all. Your paralysis is a lie. Stop this nonsense. We are not selling the house for you." "Oh my, Angela. What is wrong with you? Why would you say something like that?" "Come here, she wants to call me a liar." "That's because you are one. Nicole, I know you think I'm insane, but Mary has been lying to us. Do you remember the cameras we had in the master bedroom?" "Yes. What about them?" "I accessed them a few days back. Mary's just fine. She's been acting like she's paralyzed. Here's a compiled video of her moving around just fine." I handed my phone to show him the evidence. Mary turned pale as a ghost, desperately trying to stop Nicole from seeing the video. She knew I had caught her in the act. After watching the footage carefully, Nicole exclaimed, "What the hell is this, Mom? You were pretending all this time. Why would you do that?" "It's not my fault, Cole. You've been drifting away from me. There was nothing else I could do. Angela doesn't deserve all the money and attention you give her. I should be a priority, not her." "Of course, Angela is my priority. She's my wife, for crying out loud. I'll always be there for you when you need me. But you are becoming overwhelming for us." "How can you say that? I'm your mother." "You have to sell this house and move in with me. I had to act like a worthless, disabled person to get your attention. I deserve something for going through this nonsense." "You are not entitled to this house, Mary. You should be grateful we haven't kicked you out already." I scoffed. "Mom, you need to leave. I don't want to see your face right now. I need to be away from you." Mary kept crying and screaming that Nicole was abandoning her again, but this time he wasn't giving in to her. Then she started verbally attacking me. The insults she threw at me were vile. She even brought up my deceased parents to insult me. Nicole had enough and threatened to call the police if she didn't leave. She eventually went back to her house but kept calling repeatedly. Nicole and I had serious discussions, and he apologized for being so naive about his mom. We talked about her unacceptable behavior and decided it was time for no contact. Even his siblings and Billy were horrified by what happened. They were also considering cutting off contact with her. Mary continued pestering us with calls for months, but for now, she seems to have gotten the hint and is staying away. We might consider rebuilding a relationship if she seeks therapy and makes efforts to improve, but for the time being, she remains